Hello artists! So today's video is a little bit different. This is not a follow along video. This is a project video. The difference is with a follow along, you are copying what I am doing. In a project video, I will be demonstrating what the project is, and then you will be making your own project. So you do not have to copy this. You do not have to follow along with me. I'm going to show you the steps for the project, and then you are going to create your own. Okay? So the first step to this is you are going to be making a sign. I'm making a room sign. You can make it for your own room. You can do a sign for anywhere in your house, at your front door, to the basement, anything. I wanted to do this for Sean's room, my room. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go through and write out your sign with block letters, which we did in one of the previous videos. Then we're going to be making this look a little 3D, but we're going to do it a little bit differently than the last video of 3D letters. I'm going to show you how to make one that looks like it's stretching out really far into the front, into space. So once you have your block letters written out, what you're going to do is pick a spot, try to get it kind of in the middle of your paper, and make a little dot. We call this in our higher art classes, I'll give you a little heads up, we call it a vanishing point. And that's because it's going to look like everything is heading towards this point until it vanishes. So we're going to start with the lower set of letters. You should have a top and a bottom set of letters for your sign. You're going to start with all the corners on just the bottom row. And I'm going to recommend for this one that you either use a ruler or you fold up some paper so that you have a nice straight edge to work with. You're going to want something that's pretty strong. I'm going to use my ruler because you can see through it then. So I'll start with all my corners, starting on my R, and I'm going to draw a line right to the dot. Now what I find easiest when you're trying to use a ruler is instead of doing this with both hands, you put your pencil on one spot, like the point, put your ruler against it, and then it's easier just to move the ruler like this to get it to the right spot. So I'm going from the corner of my R, just like that. And I'm going back to my point, scooting until I get to the next corner, and do that. Now this top corner of the R goes into the letter, so I don't have to do that. And that one. Now this is a corner too, so I want to make sure I go to that corner. Now I've got this curve, I'm going to skip it for now. This corner would go into the R, so I'm not going to do it. Same with this one, this goes inside, but this one will. Now I'm not going to take this the whole way down because what's going to happen is it's going to hit part of the letter, so that's where it's going to stop. If your line gets interrupted by another letter or another part of a letter, you'll stop. I have no corners on my O, so I'll skip that for now. Now I'm going to go to the M. For this one, I'm still going to go towards this point, but this time, it's going to go in a different direction. It looks like it's going to hit my O, and if it does, I have to stop. If you run into another letter, you just stop. Now I got the bottom corner, and the next corner. This corner goes into the letter. This corner is going to get interrupted by my letter. Stop. So is this one. This one goes into the letter, so I don't do it. Bottom corners. Now my top corners, this one is going into the letter, so I don't have to do it. This one will start and get stopped by the M, so I don't go any further than that. That one goes in, and I did that one. So once I have all my straight lines, now I'll go back and I'll do all my curved lines. This will be a little bit easier than just doing your letters by themselves because you have this point to aim for. So I'm going to put my pencil on the point, put my ruler against it, and I'm going to slide my ruler until there's almost nothing left of my R showing. Way there. And then I'll draw my line. Now I don't have to worry about drawing any kind of curve because it's going all the way down here. So the same is going to happen with my other curves now. I'm going to start with my pencil on the spot. I'm going to go up until I hit the letter O. It goes up. Spin my ruler until I get to the edge of my O. And then the next O. So the spots where you draw your lines to are going to change a little bit. Some of them are right on the side, some of them are right underneath. It's all going to depend. So already this is looking like it's popping out right at you. So now we're going to go to the top row, and there's going to be the same kind of rules. You want to start with your corners, and then you'll move on from there. And if your corner is going to hit one of the lower level letters, you're going to stop when you hit that letter. So for this one, start with my corner S, and I'm still going to aim for this point. Just barely going to hit that corner, and it's going to run into my R, so that's where it'll stop. I'm going to go to this corner next. That runs into my S. I don't have to do it. Going from this top corners. Ooh, that one just runs right into my O. Next corner. This one's definitely going to hit the O and stop. So it's a very skinny line. And I'm just going to go right down the line. This will help it make it look like your lower level is sticking out even more because these lines are going behind them. So I'm just going to go quickly and finish it, but I'll stop at the H so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Going to each point, each corner. Some of your lines might get really skinny, and that's okay. Ooh, very skinny there. Now this goes in, that goes in, that goes in. This one's going to get interrupted. That was fine. So see how this part now is starting to stick out a little more? It looks like it's coming up from behind your first letters. It's so cool. Let's keep going. So some letters, like that one, go all the way down to the point because they don't have anything to run into. I think the letter E is one of the most fun because it has so many corners. Look at that, all of those little lines. Nothing in any of those because they all get interrupted. Let's go to the letter N. So you see sometimes I switch which one I put my pencil on. I sometimes put it on the point, I sometimes put it on the letter, and then I line up the point on the other side. It's all up to you. Whatever feels the most comfortable, you can do. So that interrupts, or that goes in. This one's going to get interrupted. Nothing, nothing. You can skip if you want to do, like, this is a sign for your room. So like mine is Shone's room, and you put a little apostrophe in there to make it belong to you. You don't have to do that one for you. That can just kind of sit on its own. You can if you want to. Let's line up the S. And this will be a very skinny line. Very skinny. All right, now I'm going to go and look at my curves. So on my C, the only curve that I'm going to have to draw a line for is the outside. Your inside curves like this usually won't have any kind of line. So you see I didn't do anything on my O's because there's no corner or edge to go to. So I'm going to put on my dot, So I can line this up on the edge of the C. That stops at the O. Got my O up here. That got interrupted. That one made it all the way. And then way over on the side, my letter S. Look at that. Now, if you want this to really stand out, you're going to do some shading or even color it. If you color it, my recommendation is that you pick maybe 3 colors for each letter, or you can make them all match. So let's say I wanted to do my top row. I want to do that with red and orange and yellow. So what I would do is I would start off with my light color, and I'll do the front. Oh, I missed a line. Look at that. Good thing you caught that. Somebody was yelling at me, ready to write in the comments, Miss Young, you missed a line. I did. I missed that line right here on the edge of the S. There we go. Now that looks better. I won't color the whole thing in this video because I think you guys will probably get the right idea once you see what I'm doing. So your front side, color that in. I'll show you a curved one and I'll show you a straight one. So like one that has curves on it and one that doesn't. Michonne, you missed another line. What's wrong with me today? Sometimes it's hard to remember to get all of those curves, so it's a good thing we're checking on it. This one's okay. That one we're good. This one was being a problem. See, this is how you know that I'm recording this really live, because I'm not editing out the oopses I make. So now for your next color, keep you guys handy, I'm going to do all the ones that are on like a side, like this one. That's a side. This one's a side. I'll take that all the way down. And this one is a side. For the S, you got to remember that these are working on curves. So some of them have a side like this, and this one's going to go way far down. I'm getting super skinny. Until it vanishes. So this has a little bit of a side, but it's going to eventually go under. So I'm going to kind of color it about a little bit more than halfway. Color all that in until it disappears down there. And on this one, it has a side right here. And I'm only going to do a little bit here. Okay? Now I'll take my last color and do all the bottom edges. So anything that is kind of facing down, I'll color those in with my other color. It's a good idea too, when you're coloring these, to think about things like light versus dark colors. This red is it's like a darker color compared to orange and yellow. Yellow is very bright. So by putting the brighter color on the top, kind of makes it stand out even more because you have that brightness. Just like we were talking about with our 3D shapes. If you have a lighter area, that makes it feel a little bit higher up. So on the curve now, just like with the cylinders, this part is on the bottom, but then it slowly goes into a side. So I'm going to color some of this red into the orange so that they blend together. You'll probably want to be careful that you don't make your bottom letters match the top letters that they interrupt, because then it might get a little bit confusing. So my bottom letters, I would make a different color. And then this spot too, we'll have a little bit of red mixing with the orange. And then red the rest of the way down. All the way down. Super skinny. And there you go. So I think you got everything you need right now to be able to do the same kind of idea. And I'm really excited to see what kind of room signs you guys make. But I want to make sure, again, should have a top row and a bottom row, and everything is going towards that little point. If you get stuck somewhere, remember you can always take a picture of your work and you can post it on Classroom. You don't have to hit turn in, post it and put in the comment, I need some help, and tell me what part you're getting stuck on. And then I can either do a quick video and show you what to do, or I can just do a little picture and send you that picture back and let you know what it is that you need to do. All right? I can't wait to see your stuff. I will see you guys in the next project.